In the prism of history, the relationship to naming unfolds by essential aspects of the dominant worldview as a whole. Who hasn't heard the saying, it's just a name? But is it really that simple that a name is just a name? At least this has not always been the way people seem to have thought, and echoes of a more meaningful idea of naming is reflected in the current abode of names, that is, in our modern languages. No matter how we try to isolate a name from its living source, we are faced with the fact that a name without or beyond language is an inconceivable phenomenon. And this close relationship between words and names is evidenced by the expression, call things by their proper names. It is possible not to know the etymological meaning of a name, but it is impossible to use a name beyond its semantic context. But still, how can the contemporary common conception of a name as being just a name be explained? Let's start at the other chronological end, which of course by no means is an end or even a beginning, but simply a convenient time segment without any clear contours. In ancient times, a person's name was considered on the same basis as a word. That is, a word that is not a name in our meaning. And there are also names of course, of other beings beside people and domestic animals. How else to explain the following passage from the Gospel according to John? He that believed on him is not condemned, but he that believed not is condemned already, because he had not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. The intended meaning of the name was of significance. The name as well as the word had to be understood and not only repeated without understanding its semantic meaning, given that the name of an individual is considered not as a simple word or conventional sign, but as an essential feature of the individual himself. And the name of this era are semantically transparent to the native speaker to whom the name belonged. Regarding the name of foreign origin, it is a different matter. Due to incomprehension of the constituent parts of the words of such a name, it forms an inaccessible field of verbal meaning to those who do not know the language on which basis of which the name arose. And this kind of lingual problem can be solved in the following three different ways. First one is translation of a name from a foreign language into the own language. Then we have replacement of a foreign name with an assonant native name. For example, the Semi-Varangian prince Sviatoslav Igorevich had, in addition to his Slavic first name, the Varangian byname Svendislav, the meaning of which does not correspond to the Slavic name Sviatoslav. And then we have the third one, which is adoption of phonetic form of the foreign name. Of those three approaches to a foreign name, actually only the first retains an internal connection with the original name, while replacing the name with a semantically analog native one ensures the internal connection and transparency of the own language. But, on the other hand, if one is content with the external adaptation of the name, then friction is removed when the name enters the new language environment, but the foreign name remains then at the same time in a semantic vacuum, or, if we continue to use the language of modern astronomy, the very name will form some kind of black hole in the semantic space. That is, it will appear semantically alien in relation to the native names of the language the name entered. In the next session, we will continue this investigation by analyzing the further development during the medieval Christian era of European history.